My dear people of Ambazonia, my fellow brave warriors of the southern Cameroon's liberation, my people, accept revolutionary greetings from me today, Comrade John Akuro. Today is November 29th, it's Tuesday, the year 2022. I want to take this opportunity first to thank all of you who have continued to reach out and to pray for me to find out why I've been, the silent for all this while. I was not in very good health, but due to your prayers, your constant calls and care, I think I'm virtually back on my feet. And as you can see, we're yet to resume broadcast in our studio because work is still going on regarding that studio. So we will make do with this format. Of course, this is where we kind of started. So before we get back to sophistication, let's be able to address a few salient issues that have brought me here once more this day. My people of Ambazonia, the hour right now is rough, very rough. Some will ask me, what do you mean? What is it that makes this hour seem rough? It is because it is the hour just before dawn. That is usually the darkest hour of the night. The darkest hour of the night is the hour just before dawn. Because, as you must already know, there is no way we will fail in this liberation movement. There are a lot of things that will happen that will threaten the faith, will threaten the faith of a lot of people, the weak-minded ones, regarding this liberation movement. But assuredly, my people, and verily, verily, I say unto you, this liberation movement will end with Ambazonia as a country. I repeat, this liberation movement will end with Ambazonia as a country. My people, while there's been so much talk about, the goings on and about either in Canada or the talks about the FIFA World Cup tournament or talks about confusion in the ranks in La République du Cameroun or talks about some of our people facing some issues with the U.S. Justice Department. La République du Cameroun has been very busy making sure 2023 will be an extremely rough year for all its citizens. And by extension, for Ambazonians, because we are still at this moment somehow tied to the policies in La République du Cameroun. Because the actions that they take in Yaounde still have some effect in our territory. That is why the hardship that Mr. Paul Biya is preparing for the people of La République du Cameroun will not spare our people. This is the more reason why we all need to continue to stand strong in this movement to make sure we eventually show La République du Cameroun the door. Listen, folks, some in our midst will fall, either at the battlefield or to justice departments in other spheres around the world, or simply because they withdraw, and we have seen some, to join the enemy because of flowery promises that will never come to fruition, and that the little that they get will be very temporal and loaded with conditions that will make life unbearable for them in the near future. If you doubt what I'm saying, you should just look at what has happened or what happened to Mr. Nambere. Where is he? Is anybody hearing Nambere again? Where is he? I recall at one point, he stood with La République du Cameroun and made a sound mockery of Ambazonia. True, that I know he might have fallen because of frustration, because of the confusion in the struggle, because of some difficulties, but all the same, a good lot of us have faced vicissitudes, have faced mixed fortunes in this liberation movement, have faced all forms of attacks, have faced untold hardships. Sometimes they've even threatened that we should be killed. Sometimes some have even said we should be poisoned. But my people, if you are a true son of Ambazonia, a true fighter for our freedom, nothing will cause you to fall behind. You must have observed that even some of those who got wounded and or not in the course of this liberation movement, a good lot of them have still not left this movement. Even some who have passed, their souls and spirits are still very strong in this liberation movement. A good lot who are in dungeons around La République du Cameroun and others even threatened by imprisonment, be it in the United States or in other Western countries, have remained strong because of the firm conviction that there is no place, there is nowhere like home. That despite the odds, this generation, this particular generation must deliver a free homeland to generations upon generations of Southern Cameroonians to come. I was just talking a while ago about the hardships that La République du Cameroun is preparing to unleash. Unknown to so many people, while La République du Cameroun was on the field of play on day one, and the people were expecting that their lions, called them indomitable, were going to, roar and things like that, they were busy in the House of Assembly Yaounde passing the 2023 finance law, the 2023 budget, with little or absolutely no opposition. Even the SDF party, that often staged dramatic walkouts just to animate the gallery, didn't find it necessary to do that this time around. And when you look at that budget, that state budget voted by La République du Cameroun, from the outlook, they give you the impression that the economy is doing extremely well. Why? Because the state budget has increased. The state budget, since Mr. Pobia took over power, continues to increase. Even in the heart of an economic crisis, it continues to increase. Why? Because this is always an artificial budget. And again, they raise the bar always too high because they know that they will push it down the throat of the people to pay for it. Over 6,000 billion CFA is the budget for 2023 for La République du Cameroun. But within this, mind you, just by the time this liberation movement was picking steam in 2016 or so, the fiscal stamp was at 500 francs. Between that time and today, the fiscal stamp moved one change from 500 to 1,000 CFA. And today, it's moving from 1,000 CFA to 1,500 CFA from January 2023. Are you aware of that? I mean, the price of a fiscal stamp, that's a 500 CFA franc increase. Before they did it, they took it from 500 to 1,000. People said it was normal. Today, they've taken it from 1,000 to 1,500. Of course, the target is to get it to even 2,000. Now, why is that fiscal stamp? Why is the price of that fiscal stamp so important? Because La République du Cameroun, when they raise this, they make sure that not a single document will ever be certified without a fiscal stamp. Even paperwork that you did not need before to certify, today they will tell you it needs to be certified. Not because they need to certify it, because they need the tax. So now it is not just the stamp that you buy when you need it to do some kind of paperwork, it is unavoidable. That's number one. Number two, the price of the international passport that left from 27,000 to 33,000 to 55,000 and then to 75,000 to 100. Now it's going to be about 150,000 CFA funds to make an international passport. Why are they laying emphasis on the international passport too, like the fiscal stamp? Because they know that the conditions in the country are horrible and that at least 98% of the people in that country are looking for opportunities to desert that country to go for greener pastures. And therefore they tell you, even before you run away, you will give us the money. Even before you fly, you will pick the last resources that you have and give it to us. Of course, the airport tax goes up too, exponentially. Import duties for those in Ambazonia whose attention I've called several times to the effect that anytime you send a single container to the seaport in Douala, you are providing ammunition for the government of La République du Cameroun to kill your people, to continue to finance their ongoing genocide in the southern Cameroons. And you thought I was joking. Now you will pay even more because war is costly. When you hear the prices of those fiscal stamps going up, communal stamps, everything, the cost of stamp duty and everything, that tells you that what you paid as custom duty yesterday is likely to go up by at least 1/3. This is for a fact. Yeah, I see someone asking me about fiscal stamps if you don't. Look, the government of La République du Cameroun is going to launch several public exams in 2023. Of course, I have that information. They are going to launch several public exams. A good lot of them, the results will not even come out within the framework of 2023. But that is because they will need the young people, an already sacrificed generation, who are looking for jobs, to look for money from everywhere to buy those stamps. And then the paperwork for each of those public exams is going to be far more consistent than it was before. You will not escape it. They will pay. In La République du Cameroun, people don't look up to jobs in the private sector because there is no private sector in existence. Yes, what sits there as a private sector is extremely weak to be the backbone of the economy of the country. That is why every other person in that country, once they graduate from university or from wherever, they are looking for professional schools to go to end up in the public service. Can someone show me one country in the world that has been developed only by the public service? One. I mean one. It doesn't exist. My dear people of Ambazonia, I'm raising all these issues so we know that the suffering that is coming ahead in La République du Cameroun is enormous. And we don't deserve to be part of it. We don't have to be part of it. We have been part of this for way too long. Over 60 years of all forms of torture. My people of Ambazonia, I bet you need to take a look at that finance law. On my next broadcast, I'll bring all the nitty-gritties of that finance law of La République du Cameroun for 2023 here. And we shall analyze, step by step. You will see with me exactly why I say we need to intensify the quest for the liberation of our land. We need to put an end to this black on black colonization being pushed by La République du Cameroun in the southern Cameroons. My people of Ambazonia, before I continue, I want to take this opportunity to inform southern Cameroonians, Ambazonians in North America, especially in the United States of America, that French president Emmanuel Macron is going to be visiting the United States of America in the days ahead. I'm still to pick up the date because I got that information just as I was getting into this broadcast. I didn't get the time to confirm the date. But I'm likely to come back here tomorrow to talk about this specific event. Listen, we will forget about our group loyalties. We will forget about everything. We need to lead one of the strongest demonstrations ever in Washington, D.C. during that visit of Mr. Emmanuel Macron. That is the way we are going to draw the attention of the world to the effect that what is going on in the southern Cameroons is a French proxy war. That the ongoing genocide in the southern Cameroons is not different from what happened in Rwanda at the hands of France. Listen, I am saying Emmanuel Macron will be visiting Washington, D.C., and that's going to be an official visit. This is the most important moment for us to come from all the nooks and crannies of the United States of America, even including people from Canada. It may be short notice, but mind you, the circumstances in which we find ourselves doesn't require too much planning to take advantage of situations like those ones. We will have to mobilize. At the end of this broadcast, I'm going to be reaching out to all the other chapels to let the people know, although it's a short notice, let us mobilize as much as we can. We need to draw the attention of the international community while Mr. Macron is in Washington, D.C., to the effect that what is happening in the southern Cameroons, France is directly responsible. Like I said, I will come back to this subject matter definitely tomorrow, because by then I would have had more ample information, complete information about that visit. And it will give us the opportunity to do better planning so that we are able to leave this very important field. My people of Ambazonia, some of you have reached out to me and saying, oh, it's like the struggle is dying down. It's like we're losing momentum. And I said, listen, we have allowed fear, doubt, and confusion to get in our minds. When that happens, we put down our arms and we start hoping that some divine spirit will just intervene somewhere for things to happen. I have faith in the fact that God ordained this liberation movement. But mind you, the Bible says, all faith without work equal to what? Emptiness. That is why, even while we are waiting on God to do the thing that He has planned to do, we have to be working. We have to be busy at our tasks. We have to make sure that we are strengthening the civil society on ground zero to continue to keep the resistance alive. Also, while I was coming to this broadcast, I saw a flyer prepared by La République du Cameroun. Why did they prepare that flyer at this point in time? Because, of course, they too are beginning to have that feeling that it seems hostilities are dead. That it seems the steam that our people have for the freedom of our land is dying. For that reason, they need to take an opportunity. They need to dive in quickly, take advantage of the moment to set the confusion that they can. It is particularly directed to the ghost towns. That is why you will see flyers being circulated by CPDM apologists, being circulated by the apparatchiks of the One Cameroon system of Mr. Paul Biya, on which flyer they are saying, oh, they're talking as if it's our brave hearts talking, oh, we were misled to get into this thing. They showed us an imaginary internet country and we believed in that country, but we are so sorry, our people have died, our population has reduced seriously, our economy has crashed, we are apologizing, and then they end up saying that it is a general Alaji in Bafut, and I think they put another name there. I want to see exactly what it is because I think I can recall very quickly where I could lay hands on that flyer. Okay, here it goes. So it says, attention to all people of the Northwest region. And then they say it is signed by General Alaji of 7 Qatar. That General Alaji / 7 Qatar, who says, for who are we fighting? So you are definitely going to see this kind of stupid flyer. But you see, they even created some kind of funny stamp and put on it. Listen, my people, these are continuous signs that La République du Cameroun is slumbering in desperation. When you see all of those things, skip over them. If there is one thing, that is hurting La République du Cameroun beyond imagination, it is your Monday ghost towns. It's our Monday ghost towns. It's our country Sunday. It hurts La République du Cameroun more than everything else. And someone asked the question, but these ghost towns are taking place in Ambazonia. I must give credit to the question to Comrade Ayaba. So, but these ghost towns are happening in Ambazonia. How is it hurting you over there in La République du Cameroun? And a good lot of others have asked the same question. I want to give you a simple answer why it hurts them. Listen, that one day, economically, is extremely expensive. Do the multiplier effect just over a period of 6 months, it is in billions of CFA. That's number one. But that's not the most important thing, the most important thing that puts La République du Cameroun in a bad place. What puts La République du Cameroun in a bad place is because the ghost towns represent the civilian face of our liberation movement. Because the ghost towns are there glaring, shouting, as a clear symbol that normalcy has not and will never return. Number one, a clear and glaring symbol that the people in their overwhelming majority want to see La République du Cameroun out of our territory. And that the people are still very determined and resilient despite all the confusion sponsored in our liberation movement by La République du Cameroun. And therefore, to any international visitor, the first thing that hits is that ghost town. Since the people effectively are not happy. The people effectively do not want to belong to a failed union. So the visual aspect to it, the symbol of it, what it communicates, is what is eating through the fabrics of La République du Cameroun. This is the power of the civil society. This is the strength of the civil society. And listen, my people. As a member of the consortium, a very proud one though, that negotiated this ghost town with the people, and we agreed to and started implementing it, because some people have couched the mistaken belief that our people are forced to respect ghost towns, especially that Monday ghost town. I was pointing to this very important fact. Take note. This ghost town on Mondays was instituted in February of 2017 by the consortium with the people. At that time, we didn't have all these rivalries. Everybody was in. At that time, there were no Amba boys anywhere that you could claim that they were the ones who were implementing it. No. At that time, there was nothing. It was just the determination, the focus, and the overwhelming resilience and support of the masses. And that is what has stayed on. On every country Sunday, reach out to our people on ground zero. Ask them how they feel about it, and they will tell you that that day will go nowhere until the day we scream, free, free, free at last. We are free. It is that day, and only that day, that country Sunday will come to an end. And there's even already advanced discussions You see how the first day that Monday country Sunday was instituted could likely end up as a public holiday in Ambazonia, in remembrance of the determination of our civilian population, the focus of the people, the resilience of a people who have known suffering and who have stood up as one man to say enough is enough. Listen, folks, there is something we must continue to bear in mind. That in La République du Cameroun, there is no day they will ever change policy as far as the southern Cameroon is concerned. Evidence is very glaring. Look at all of the things that are happening there on the ground right now. They don't show you that La République du Cameroun is even considering that something is going on. They don't show you that La République du Cameroun is even considering that perhaps they need to pretend and try to change a few things just for the sake of it. No. Our children in technical colleges across Ambazonia continue being taught in a language that is a mixture of French, Pidgin English, and the teacher's vernacular. It is still going on even now as we speak. If you are doubting, at my next podcast, I'll bring you sound bites from classrooms sent to me by students who are out, embarrassed, and shocked. If La République du Cameroun continues to poke its finger into our eyes, even at this time, my people, that we are expressing our determination and showing the world that we want to end this relationship, then what will happen to us if we ever, and God forbid, fail in this liberation movement and find ourselves now back with them as a conquered people? Have you thought of this reality? Have you thought of it? Anytime you want to play a spin master to set confusion in this liberation movement, think of this reality. Every time you want to constitute yourself among those who become detractors to the direction we want to give to this movement, think about that possibility. And ask yourself how life will look like. Don't look at the vain glories that they promise you today, because you will never lay your hands on them. They promised him to Nambere after several months back in the Republic of Cameroon, turning up and down, doing things. How did it end? Nothing. Same thing in Congo was promised when he was trying to transform our people into products that was carrying cattle to come and sell to the Republic of Cameroon. You can hear him now ranting and calling the names of all of those people one by one. They don't keep to their promises. Check on all of those who went for the Grand National Dialogue from among our midst and claimed that they have repented. Look at all of them, one by one. They are simply ashamed today to come back and tell you that, as you see, my people, I was misled, I made a mistake. La République du Cameroun never respects any agreement, never keeps to any engagement. Gambling with La République du Cameroun is like committing suicide. Therefore, my people, we must not give up. We must never give up. We can ask questions about ourselves and our actions. But for one thing, let us recognize that we will either win together like a determined and brave lot, or we will all perish together as fools. But this is not what I wish for my people of Ambazonia. So folks, I don't intend to make this communication too long. I just wanted to take this opportunity of my recovery and comeback to sound the clarion call on the people of Ambazonia that it is once more time for us to mobilize and remobilize ourselves. I said here before that we're engaged in a movement, in a liberation movement that can have several facets and some complications. And therefore, as the underdogs, we need to use our brain. Use our brain more than every other thing else. Today, La République du Cameroun And all those who are against our liberation movement will be brandishing to you the names of who you see. These people have been indicted in the United States. These people have been indicted. Very soon, they will clear all of them. Very soon, they will capture all of them. Let me be clear here. The United States of America is a country of law. And therefore, if you are accused or indicted of anything, you will have the chance to defend yourself before, a jury. Usually in a fair trial, where you have the opportunity to raise arguments to defend yourself on the issues raised before you. That's number one. Number two, let me also say here that in this liberation movement, a good lot of us have decried certain ills that were taking place. Some of our people decided to turn a blind eye or close their ears to these complaints that were recurrent, coming over and over and over. Everything you engage into in today's globalized world has rules of engagement. A liberation movement is age-old. Even the United States of America liberated itself from Britain between 1774 and 1776. The French liberated themselves from the monarchy. A good lot of peoples around the world liberated themselves from oppression and from colonialism. We are not the first. But the thing is, certain practices that you promote within the liberation movement, that are practices that are reprehensible, that are practices that are anti-people, that are practices that are anti-liberation, someday, somehow, you may be called upon to pay for this. That doesn't represent a witch hunt against our liberation movement, as some people are trying to say. Don't forget, some of these people may well be indicted when in effect they have evidence to prove that the charges brought against them are not founded. Don't hurry to conclusions. But trust me, my people, right now where we are, the destiny of our freedom is in our hands. How we manage it depends on us. That we fail or we win will depend on the level of determination we continue to instill in us. Most importantly, my people, the hegemonic fights that have gone on for too long among our various movements, groups, and organizations will create a lot of avenues where we ourselves will set up ourselves. And then we will see that the international community is already beginning to gang against us. If we kill this division, begin to operate once more like one loving bunch, facing the same trauma, facing the same torture, being visited by the same genocide that has been unleashed on our people by the Republic of Cameroon, and knowing that we have a common destiny, then we will limit the damages. Then we will be able to attain our objective without losing so much. My people of Ambazonia, sincerely, I want to congratulate all of us for braving it right up to this moment. Unlike other movements that even just before they started, they already had international support here and there, serious backing. We haven't enjoyed that just yet. But we have proven to the world that when a people rise against oppression, against illegal occupation, there is no stopping. Nothing can stop anyone. That is why I always stay very glued to this philosophy that you can resist an entire army regiment. You can resist an entire battalion. You You can even survive, tomahawks. It's possible. But you cannot resist an idea whose time has come. Right now, in the hearts and minds of at least 99% of Ambazonians, I leave out that 1% just for benefit of doubt. Because even the Paul Atanganjis, even the Ngolengoles, even all of those people who are standing, even the Mojas, who are standing and making noise, oh, like the beauty Cameroun, or whatnot, in the innermost part of their hearts, they want this freedom more than you and I do. But the thing that is holding them is because they are not too certain how soon we attain that freedom. It's doubt. They don't believe. They are not thinking that it is possible. But it takes just a few. Fortunately, in our case, it's not just a few. It's at least 99% of the people putting in every effort they can to make sure we free homeland. That is why I am more than ever before optimistic that we will attain that objective. Forget about the little episodes of sadness that we traverse. We will overcome. We will prevail. We will deliver a free Ambazonia to the next generation of Southern Cameroonians. My people of Ambazonia, I want to thank you for this gracious moment you spent sharing with me. I'm back on my feet once more, and I'm right here. We will continue to stomp and stomp and stomp until we attain this freedom. Again, don't forget, even as you go, the announcement I make midway in this broadcast, that French President Emmanuel Macron, the real promoter of the ongoing genocide in the southern Cameroons, will be visiting Washington, D.C. in the days ahead. And it is an official visit. It is an opportunity for us to flood Washington, D.C. like never before. When I'm talking right now, I'm looking at the crowd that we were in New York on September 22, 2017. I'm looking at the huge crowd that we were in Washington, D.C. on August 19, 2019. Was it 2018. As within the framework of the Washington Collaborative Conference. My people of Ambazonia, yes, we can reenact it. This is the time to do it. We must remain strong. To God be the glory.